Riverdale sometimes deals with disturbing and problematic topics. We provided a list of content warnings in the episode description. Hello and welcome to Dead Ends. I'm Emily.
I'm Brenton.
And we are back to Riverdale.
Yes.
We're getting wackier and kookier.
Very much so. You know, we've missed being here. It's been a lot lately.
In our lives?
Yes.
Yes, in our lives. Yeah, we bought a condo. Don't do it.
Yeah.
0 out of 10 recommend home ownership.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I mean, like, I'm sure in other situations, in other places, it's probably a good idea. And we're very privileged to get to do it. Don't get me wrong. We feel very lucky. Mm-hmm. But we also feel very unlucky.
Very annoyed.
Yeah. Let's just say that no matter how good your home inspection is, they're not going to check your heating ducts for mice.
It's interesting. I tell you what. And there are a number of other things that are ongoing with various people that we're not going to disclose here.
No.
Until they're resolved.
Exactly.
But Riverdale,
Uh-huh.
we escaped to a fantastical realm.
We did.
It looks like the Pacific Northwest. And
it's technically on the East Coast.
The wildest, exactly. And the wildest things happen.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I appreciate Sabrina for, you know, even if in this heightened area, a little bit more grounded character work, kind of really laying things out. You can kind of follow these nice plots going along. It's got this kind of point it's making over the season. But Riverdale, there is an energy that I missed.
It's like having like a really beautiful wedding cake versus like a bowl of candy. And that doesn't mean one's bad. It's just like, what are you into right now?
Yeah. Sometimes you just want some sugar.
Sometimes you just want some sugar.
And that's what I tell you.
Oh my God.
Well, should we jump into season 3 and talk about the cast and a little bit of the background?
Yeah.
So
not about season 3. I'm just yapping about life.
I guess if you must. Season 3. So a couple little facts up top. Charles Melton and Vanessa Morgan are now officially series regulars. Welcome. This is also the season where Luke Perry passed away. So
oh my God, it's this early?
Yes. So we'll talk about it more. So I think the episode.
Spoiler alert for the episodes, but I mean, you know, people know Luke Perry passed away.
Yeah, exactly.
It was a big thing.
But he is in this season. His final physical appearance is episode 19. And I don't think there's things resolved around his character until the first episode of season 4.
Was that during the pandemic when season 4 came out? Was that when they had to start reshooting?
Yes, season 4 is the pandemic one.
Okay.
Because then season 4 gets cut off early, and then the rest of it is finished at the beginning of season 5. Mm-hmm. So when we watch that, we'll be watching season 4 through the beginning of season 5 just so we get these nice arcs.
The plot lines are ended.
Yeah. So we'll cover more as we kind of come up to that, but he died on the day that like episode 13 aired. So passed away then, and then there was a 3-week hiatus, 3-week hiatus after that. In between airing episodes. And then I just kind of pulled this in because if you look up season 3 Riverdale, it kind of seems like this is the season that really lost people.
Well, I mean, even when we were watching it, it's like, because we've seen it before, I enjoy this transition so much more. But when we were watching it, that first season is just a tight mystery. Like, it's a good, I'd argue it's probably story-wise the best season of Riverdale.
Yes.
There's a season that I enjoy the most, and that is much later.
I know, yeah, it's coming up.
But is it season 5?
6.
Okay. Yeah, season 6 is my go-to. I think it was the first watch too.
Yeah, because I really hope it holds up. That was a good season.
One, to me, by then we had committed to what the show was. I think when you commit to what the show is, it's a lot more fun. And so I think that's what this journey is. It's them pushing how far they can push things. Does that make sense? And I think it pays off, but it's like a long journey. Whereas I think Sabrina has the luxury of starting in a fantastical realm.
Yeah.
Which makes it just more fun from the get-go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and different from... Yeah, because with Riverdale, it's kind of like, oh, I have this idea of what the show is. And then season 2 is like, no, you don't.
If you showed someone season 1 and then season 6 of Riverdale, they would ask you what happened.
Yeah, totally.
With nothing in the middle. And I mean, if you watch the middle, you also might get to season 6 and go, what happened?
And there are also... Exactly.
But I do remember at this time kind of being like, oh, it's made a choice.
Mm-hmm. And
but the choice feels firmer in retrospect than it did when we were watching it at this time.
Yeah, because you're like, what keeps happening? And
then
there's some... I'm going to put my... Well, I mean, just for these 2 episodes, absolute blast. I liked them better in the beginning of season 2, if I'm going to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they're fun.
Yeah.
I don't remember the beginning of season 2.
That's where... oh my God, Luke Perry, but I just lost the character's
Fred.
name. Thank you. Is in the hospital.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and so Hiram comes to town. I can't remember the second episode, though.
Oh, that's when we get Hiram.
Yeah.
Yeah. No shade to Mark Consuelos, but...
Yeah. Exactly. It's not his fault.
It's not his fault.
But
I agree. It is fun. I have been waiting to get to the Archie prison era.
Yes. Uh-huh. It's...
There's like one more Archie thing that happens this season that I'm waiting for, and then after that, like all my Archie references are kind of over because like those are the only things I care about.
And there's one other thing in this season that I'm very much looking forward to. So, but with that, let's get into our cast for this week. All right, it's starting with Mad Dog. I chose to choose one of the few images where he had his shirt on. Just, I mean, I guess we could have him with his shirt off, but I mean, like, he had to do that the entire shoot, so maybe we'll give him one where he has a shirt on. Played by Eli Gorey, began his acting career at age 6 in Sesame Park, which, can you guess what that is? The Canadian version of Sesame Street.
No way!
Yes.
What does their Big Bird look like? Have you ever seen those videos that have all the different Big Birds from around the world?
I should have put that in here. The Canadian Big Bird.
I won't know what I don't have my phone over here. We'll have to look up Canadian Big Bird later.
No, we'll put this in a... Well, we can look up in a sec.
Okay.
Others probably want to see as well. You can watch the video version on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
He was also Quincy in HBO's Ballers. Do you remember Ballers? I never watched Ballers.
No.
It was the rock show. I think he's a sports agent.
Okay.
And guess what he was also in? The 100 as Wells Jaha. I'm like, he was a big character.
Yeah, I remember him.
Yeah. I'm like, oh my God. I didn't remember it enough to be like, oh, I recognize him. But I'm like, oh, Wells. All right, let's do a little Google search.
You're gonna search up Canadian Big Bird?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
spoilers.
Canadian Big Bird.
It's gonna tell you the bird. Sesame Park, right?
Yeah, Sesame Park. Bunch of birds. Oh, that looks like a fun puppet.
Okay. Is there a Big Bird on Sesame Park?
Is there no Big Bird on Sesame Park?
We'll go to the Wikipedia and it'll tell us about who's in Sesame Park. Characters.
Muppet Chaos.
Oh.
Sorry, I just had to look at that. Characters. Basil the Bear. A similar as equal role as Big Bird. Louie the Otter.
You want to be Canadian so bad.
Equal role to Oscar the Grouch. That's like my perfect character right there.
I wonder where we can watch this. If we had a Patreon, I'd be like, guess what we're watching? Just doing Sesame Park. We'll just do International Sesame Street.
Okay, so I bet if we look up Sesame Park, Basil the Bear.
Do they say Basil or do they say Basil in Canada?
That's what I immediately caught myself doing. So I'm like, oh, I bet it's actually Basil, and I'm just inflecting a British accent for no reason.
I don't know.
These are friendly. That's a really small picture, but look at that.
All right. Okay. I want to see him in person to see to scale with a person.
Do you think that's the otter? Yeah, it's gotta be the otter. Cool.
He's got a little jacket.
Yeah. It's a very cute photo. It's just really small.
Well.
All right. Well, back to our important things, and look forward to.
This is what the people who listen to our podcast want. They like to watch us Google things. They're like, we wish we Googled things more. They sprout a lot of misinformation for two people talking about Riverdale.
They never show us the Wikipedia pages they're looking at. All right, so Zoe de Grand Maison, taking a shot in the dark on that pronunciation, as Evelyn Evernever, is the only comics character from a roundup in this batch I pulled from the little Archie comics, but later appeared as a teenage girl in more recent comics. To me, Riverdale was the most recognizable role outside of Orphan Black, where she played Gracie Johansson.
That was like a big show. I remember in my family, that was like a big deal.
Yeah, Orphan Black was huge. I remember even my dad was into it. I think my dad watched all of it too.
Didn't we watch like one season? Did we even watch one season?
I think we watched an episode and then we like didn't move forward.
We just never picked it up again.
Yeah. One of those times we were like, we're not feeling this right now.
It's like Killing Eve. I was like, oh, this is fun. And then I was like, okay, I'm done. And I just like forgot about it.
Yeah, exactly. Because we had a great time with that first season. And I think we just kind of like, okay.
And it's over.
Goodbye. And I found this funny. I was like, this is a good play on words. 2023 horror movie, Oregon Trail. Like organs. Good times.
I should come up with horror movie titles as a...
Gonna go work with... what's his face? Oh my God. Elijah Wood.
Is that what he does?
A lot of horror movies, yeah.
Oh, but does he write them?
I think he produces.
Oh, cool. Yeah, so I could get to influence. That's why I was just making sure he wasn't just starring in them.
Yeah. Back to Wikipedia.
Now we're going to look up Elijah Wood.
That's right.
No.
All right, so Warden Norton is played by William McDonald. Recently in The Terror, which I've heard a lot of good things about, I have not watched it myself, as George Nickel. 2 episodes of The Flash, as everybody that comes through here, they got to end up on one of the CW shows. One of the superhero shows or the 100?
Or the 100.
Mm-hmm. Was also in Netflix series Travelers. Now, I've never heard of this series, but it was, I'm like, I got to pull in the synopsis. Hundreds of years from now, surviving humans discover how to send consciousness back through time into people of the 21st century while attempting to change the path of humanity.
But what happens to them then?
I know. Is it just kind of like their bodies are, it's kind of like astral projecting?
I don't know.
Interesting.
If you've watched The Travelers, let us know. Give us your thoughts and feelings in the comments. If you haven't watched The Travelers, but you want to, let us know. Give us your thoughts and feelings in the comments.
It'll be slotted in our series after Dark Angel.
Oh, yeah.
And introducing Dr. Curdle Jr., played by Nikolai Wischel.
Have we not done Dr. Curdle before?
This is Dr. Curdle Jr. We've done Dr. Curdle before.
But I forgot that we switched Dr. Curdles.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So I tried to look up. I'm like, why did the original Dr. Curdle leave? Mackenzie Gray. I don't know. Nothing. I didn't see nothing. So Nikolai has had small roles in the recent Final Destination movie, Final Destination Bloodlines, which I've heard a lot of good things about, you know? That's one of those movie series I could probably watch all the way through. Deadpool 2 also. It was in the movie Welcome to Marwin, which is about like all the little action figures like in a war. That was Robert Zemeckis. 1 minute, we'll come back around to that. 2 episodes of Man in the High Castle as Jimmy, and then is later going to be in Sabrina as Howard. So, there you go.
Trying to remember Howard.
Yeah, and when I
think when we get there, I'll remember. You know what I mean? I'll know it when I see it.
Yeah, it's like 1 episode, and when I saw the description of where Howard appears at, I'm like, I don't remember this character at all.
Oh, that's so funny.
So, okay.
Okay.
That is it.
Are you ready?
Flip back over. Yeah, let's do it. Okay. Chapter 36, Labor Day, which is the episode title, comes from Joyce Maynard's 2009 coming-of-age novel and the 2013 American drama film of the same name, which is essentially about a boy coping with his depressed mother in New Hampshire and the like strange man that comes into their lives named Frank.
Okay.
Seems like a weepy. You know what I mean? Too multi-hanky.
Seems like a weepy really got me.
That's what we call the tearjerkers, a weepy.
I didn't expect that from you.
Okay, so I pulled this directly from fandom. So take this with the biggest grain of salt you can find, because there is not a single reference except for one piece on a conflict of interest linking to the bar association. But I'm like, I have to pull this in. This is about the accuracy of Archie's trial in juvenile court. So it's like there are many discrepancies to what the show presents. Juvenile sentencing is not for purposes of punishment, but for rehabilitation in the minor's best interest.
A narc wrote
now,
that.
Exactly. Did a juvie warden write this? A juvenile is prosecuted for delinquent acts and not for committing a crime. If the alleged acts are serious enough, then the minor may be tried as an adult for committing crimes in the adult system. However, since Archie is sentenced to a juvenile detention center, not to a prison, we can conclude that he was indeed not tried as an adult, but as a minor. I'm like, but if killing someone is... I don't know. But
it's also like they get him to take, sorry, we'll get it in the episode, but they get him to take a plea deal, and then they're like, so only 2 years. And I'm like, he just admitted to murder that he didn't do.
Yeah. And then Mary Andrews wouldn't have been allowed to be his lawyer due to a personal conflict of interest. And this is
the thing that I was like, your mom can't be your lawyer.
That's the one thing that has a reference. I thought that was hilarious.
I mean, I don't know what how the rules work, but
so just so everybody knows, this is no My Cousin Vinny. So the juvenile detention center is named after Leopold and Loeb. They're two famous murderers from 1924. I'll leave all of you to go read up on the grisly details on your own. And then also Ben Button. Remember Ben Button, who falls out the window? Is the first Riverdale crossover character, because he also appeared in Chilling Adventures of Sabrina as the pizza boy who delivers to Madame Satan. So somehow he survived. Maybe she was actually just like, yes, I'm very famished, and please put the pizza on the table and go leave.
We don't, I guess, in timeline order, huh? He delivered the pizza and then he went out the window.
Yeah, and then came back. I don't know what would be worse.
Or
Anyway.
are there two Benjamin Buttons?
Could be two Ben Buttons.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Both are dead.
Benjamin and Ben. Okay. Oh, I had to note at the start of the summary too, in the narration, the summer before the junior year of high school. So last year was all sophomore year.
Mm-hmm.
Previous 2 seasons. We check in on all our main 4 as they work summer jobs, and we see as Archie is on trial for murder. Unfortunately, the lawyer is also kind of right by saying, like, bringing up all of Archie's crimes from last season. This becomes Archie's kind of like, yeah, she was really cooking. Archie's lawyers are his mom, Mary, and Sierra McCoy, and they make the case that he's a good boy. Outside the courtroom during a recess, Sierra tells Josie it's 50-50 for Archie. Archie sits alone on the court steps and thinks about him and his friends in the swimming hole, but they all desert him. In real life, they all come back to check on him, and he talks about Sweetwater Swimming Hole, which was the place in his vision, and how they used to go there when they were younger. So Veronica's the only one who hasn't been. The judge calls everyone back in. He dismissed the jury and plans to reconvene the court after Labor Day and suggests Archie spend time with his loved ones. Hiram tells Archie to have a good weekend, and Fred pops him. At Pops, Jughead sees Dilton and a kid named sees Dilton and Benjamin Button playing a game, but Ben silences Dilton from telling Jughead what the game is called. The friends all scheme, trying to prove Archie's innocence, but Archie wants them all to have a normal Labor Day weekend. Cheryl then struts in and brags about riding cross-country with her girlfriend, Tony, over summer and invites them all to her pool party, but she's like, I understand if you, wouldn't be up to it because Archie's going to be locked up soon. And it's like, but think about it, goodbye. Betty comes downstairs at home and sees her mom and Polly. Alice wants her to hang out with them, and we can see that Alice has fully undergone her Gwyneth Paltrow all-natural makeover.
My favorite thing about this is all episode, and I think in both episodes, when you see her in the house, she's not wearing shoes.
Oh, that's good. I didn't notice that one.
In most, at least the scene, there's a scene I noticed she was barefoot. I don't think they're trying to show her feet. You know what I mean?
No, the difference is she's wearing a lot more sundresses. And just
flowy scarf kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, looks very comfortable.
And bangs. That's the difference.
Yeah, which I mean, I've had bangs many times, and
yeah,
I've never thrown a baby in the fire.
Have you tried throwing your baby in the fire? It's this new TikTok trend. Betty is put off. Betty's put off because they're getting into this alternative farm lifestyle, and I say farm as in the farm. not homesteading.
It's very trad wife,
Yes.
but in the suburbs, which is what most trad wives are actually doing.
It's like woo woo and trad wives.
Mm-hmm. Which it's a direct crossover. It's the natural. It's the crunchy mom.
Yeah,
it's all of that. It was just basically predicting and predating the way that's taken off now on this like all natural like we like. You have to do things the way this guru says, and like we don't follow the main ways, and like you should try. Like, how dare you take real medication when you could be taking like mushrooms and laying in the sunshine? It's like,
yeah,
why not both?
Porque no los dos. Sometimes they could work together. Betty goes.
I don't think you should mix mushrooms with your medication. I mean, the regular mushrooms, sure, but
I was thinking sunshine and taking your proper medication.
Yeah, I think that's good too. I just wanted to make sure people didn't think we were saying they should do mushrooms on their SSRIs or whatever.
Consult your doctor.
Yeah.
If I was going to do psilocybin, does that cross over with anything?
Let's say I'm not going to, but let's say I had a friend and they were on the exact same medication I am.
I was tripping and I had a bad trip. Do you think that's because of my medicine?
Do you think it's the Adderall or...
I was so hyper-focused on the colors.
Oh, God.
Betty goes over to the Andrews to help the boys work on the jalopy. They fix it, and Archie says, "We did it, Dad."
And I was like, are you kidding me?
I guarantee you Betty did most of the work.
She's got oil all over her.
Mm-hmm.
You know she knows how to work on cars because her dad, the Black Hood, taught her how to work on cars.
I bet Archie was holding the flashlight.
If he was lucky.
That's right. Fred is upset because Archie might be going away to prison, and Archie asks Betty to check on him when he goes away. Veronica tells her dad that he won't be able to keep her and Archie apart with his scheme to lock up Archie and asks him to stop it. He pretends that he doesn't have anything to do with it and says it's outside his control. The Serpent Boys look like they stepped off an Abercrombie and Fitch photo shoot, and Jughead wants them to scout what Hiram's up to. There's a lot more shirtlessness in this.
Oh, also, like, all the boys got jacked.
Yes.
Like, I think this is the first season that Jughead looks pretty jacked.
Mm-hmm. Fang, like, they have Fangs popping his shirt off in this scene.
Yeah. And I'm not saying they weren't fit before, you know.
Right.
I'm also not saying, like, that's the only goal you should have in life. But it is funny.
Exactly.
It's like, I called the title, for me, the title of this episode was the Nakey and Sweaty episode.
It really is.
Because everyone's naked and sweaty. They're sweaty in every scene. Like, in the church or in the courtroom, they're sweaty. In any scene that's obviously sexual, they're sweaty. When they're not sweaty, they're swimming. You know what I mean? Like you're wet and you're sweaty and you're naked.
That's right.
They did finally give Betty some real clothes. Yeah. Like not real. She always had real clothes, but like less. She looks less like the comic. They definitely got like a Reformation deal or something because these all look like old Reformation dresses. I'm pretty sure.
Probably would that be the same for like Alice too?
And
Okay.
No. Ref was really like, I mean, even now, I don't know. I haven't bought anything from them in a long time, but it was always like their early things I feel like were like, they were like the little strap floral tops and the sundresses.
Okay.
And they were like these very specific floral patterns.
Gotcha.
I'm not saying it's all Reformation. I have no idea. But if I had to wager a bet.
Mm-hmm. It smells like Reformation.
It smells like, is that early Reformation? That might be early Reformation.
2019?
Yeah, I don't remember when Reformation started becoming a thing.
Yeah.
They would have been before then. I don't know. Yeah. Regardless.
Jughead tells the boys to scout what Hiram's up to. FP gives Archie a serpent tattoo, and this will help him in jail and meet up with the other serpents there. And both Jughead and FP try to advise him on how to survive jail, but FP's really the only one that's been there, so he would know.
But isn't FP wearing his slutty little glasses while he does this?
Yes, he is wearing his slutty little glasses.
He's wearing his slutty little glasses. He's looking very finger pointing fine.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
He yeah, I think it's funny. He looks very buttoned up too. And here we come into the FP being the only functional parent on the show era again. Mm-hmm. Well, not I guess Fred's pretty functional, but
yeah.
It's funny because you either have FP being an absolute dud or you're like, oh my god, he's the best character here.
Right. He's stepping much more into the dad part of DILF.
Mm-hmm.
Betty finds her mom with her diaries, and she says Edgar, who's the leader of the farm, thinks you should burn them, and Betty says her therapist says it's a good outlet and takes them all back. Alice talks up how helpful Edgar has been for her, and for her bangs. And Alice begs her to sit still and process what happened last season. Betty leaves, and Polly says there's something else you should know about Betty. Polly, shut up.
Polly's a bitch.
Yeah.
Betty tried to protect you while you were running off to the fucking farm. She solved your baby daddy's murder.
Yeah.
And this is how you repay her?
It's rude. Ungrateful. It's Cheryl's pool party. Sweet Pea makes a pass at Josie, and she's like, it was just a summer fling, and my music comes first. But then they make out. Kevin tells Moose that the two of them should make a pact to lose their virginities this year, and Moose is like, gulp. Archie
Kevin
and Reggie...
tells Moose he wants to fuck him. That's what.
Yeah. And Moose is like, woo. Archie and Reggie pass a football around and have a convo about keeping peace with the serpents and the bulldogs. You got it, bro. The queens of the party, Cheryl and Tony, sit on their throne, and Cheryl is sad about Archie going away since he saved her life. Veronica tells Betty that Sierra and Mary shot her down about getting her put on the stand to tell the truth about her father, because it's like kind of too late now. Josie tells Veronica where the jury is staying, and Veronica wants to go convince them. They're sequestered is the better way to put where the jury is. Jughead notices Dilton standing weirdly off to the side. Franks runs up and says, the ghoulies took Hot Dog. Jughead calls a serpent meeting, and they're going to go in for a stealth mission to rescue him. And Betty's like, I'm going too.
My favorite part about that whole scene is watching Cole Sprouse try not to laugh as he says, let's bring home Hot Dog. That man was fighting for his life in that scene, it looks like.
It's long. It's like
it's a long
like
scene.
5-10 seconds of him before he says, let's go get Hot Dog. It's just like...
Smiling at Betty. And I think they tried to make it look like he's smiling at her because, she's his serpent queen or whatever. And you can just tell this man is trying so hard not to laugh. At least that's how I read it.
It kind of looks like it. Archie comes home and finds his parents sad that they messed up Archie's chances. And Archie stands up for them and he's like, I deserve this verdict. And Fred and Mary are like, no, you were manipulated by a monster, and then hug him. Veronica goes to see the jury and the sheriff stops her. Yeah, cause she's going to like try and see them in their hotel, but the sheriff's like, I knew your
father knew you'd do this.
Mm-hmm. Hermione then picks her up from the station, and Hermione says she doesn't take Veronica's side because she's worried Hiram would be crueler to her. That like Veronica is safe, but she isn't.
And that she's Hiram's prisoner is how she states it.
It's interesting that we've come back around on this after we had the brief glimpse of like, Archie, I was the one that organized all this.
Mm-hmm. Which makes us go, did she?
Yeah.
Or did Hiram make her say she organized all this so that he would hate her and not Hiram? And
Yeah, it's just a bummer.
To make Veronica not trust her mom when Archie told Veronica what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's hard to watch her gain and lose agency constantly because we don't know what's real.
Right.
And I hate stories that are the woman who cried wolf. And like, we know Hiram is cruel.
Right.
So like, I think this is very valid, but then I wish we would continue with following one storyline around this. Mm-hmm. And they might be, but it doesn't feel like there's intentionality behind it.
No, it doesn't. Serpentine 6 spots Hot Dog, and Jughead goes to infiltrate and retrieve him. As Jughead slips the chain, the ghoulies come out, and led by Penny, she tells him to back off as she's seen the scouts he's been sending all summer. Penny demands his jacket because they own the South Side now.
If he's been sending scouts all summer, then how did they just find out that Penny had Hot Dog?
That's true.
Who didn't report Hot Dog missing?
Well, he did. Fangs.
Oh, Fangs. But right now, right?
Yeah.
So before that, who was supposed to have Hot Dog?
Because I'm assuming there was I
think because they said he's been missing since the whatever night.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I missed that.
Or they've had him since whatever night.
Oh.
They took him on that night.
Damn. Okay.
I thought.
Who's supposed to keep it? No, you could be right. I just didn't write it down. Yeah, so what happened? Your intelligence is lacking here, Jughead. In terms of intelligence of like
his intelligence organization.
Exactly.
But maybe his own personal intelligence too, because no one looked around and said, maybe they thought Hot Dog died?
It's been quiet around here lately.
Didn't we used to have a dog?
Yeah. Don't I walk something in the morning?
Well, because he's a community dog, I guess. You always assume someone else has Hot Dog.
That's true. Mordecai goes to make a move toward Jughead, but then Cheryl shoots him with an arrow.
Isn't it Malachi?
Mordecai. I said Malachi. Yeah, it's Malachi.
It's like, who's Mordecai?
Malachi. And then shit is about to start up, and then Jughead's like, Cheryl, aim your bow at Penny's head. And it's like, she doesn't miss. And then
Cheryl doesn't miss.
Yeah, and then everybody's like, shit, she doesn't miss, and backs off. And Penny's like, well, you've made Northside fair game now. We don't see any more of that this week.
No.
FP tells Jughead Dilton came by to see him, but didn't say anything. Weird kid. FP asks about serpent business, and Jughead worries about everybody's safety. Polly and Alice confront Betty about her abusing Adderall. Apparently, Betty is forging prescriptions for herself and hasn't been to therapy. Betty's like, you're the one who gave me that prescription last year. And also, Edgar's last name is Never Ever. So good. Edgar Never Ever is a really good name. Polly says that Betty is the one who is in denial about her health as the farm has helped her and Alice. We see Archie driving all his friends in the restored jalopy. They all go to the Sweetwater swimming hole, and we see a sign that there's no swimming there after Labor Day. Confused by that. Later, Archie says it was the best last day of summer. Jughead tells him to make a break for it. Just run into the woods. Go up to Canada. And Archie feels guilty for all he did last season and letting Andre kill that kid. And then later that night, Betty tells Jughead she has been avoiding things and thinks she should maybe see an actual therapist and is terrified about having to deal with everything. And Jughead tells her they're partners and they'll work together. Archie tells Veronica not to visit him at prison, and Veronica's like, no, you don't get to just leave me. Like, that's not happening. Dilton visits Jughead and says Ben and him thought they were just playing a game, but it turns out it's so much more, and he's real, the Gargoyle King. Jughead says it's a bad time because my friends are going to prison right now. I need to get to the court, so why don't you just hang here with your delusions, and then I'll be back and we'll talk about them. And Dilton's like, yeah, I'll stay here. The jury is deadlocked and it won't change. The judge dismisses the jury. The state offers time served in juvenile detention for 2 years, and Archie takes the deal against everybody's wishes.
Yeah, because they could have just redone the trial.
Mm-hmm. And Archie's like, I can't do that to everybody. And everybody's like, what the hell are you doing? The judge asks, are you really ignoring advice from your own mother? And then the judge sentences him to juvenile. We get reaction shots of everybody being like, what is wrong with this boy?
The dumbest boy in the world award once again goes to Archie Andrews.
Woo! Archie Andrews is a 6-time recipient of the dumbest boy award.
Which is amazing because we've only ran the award for 1 year.
Mary tells Fred she wrote an appeal, and Fred gathered the DILF crew to prove Hiram's guilty and get Archie out. Veronica blames...
The DILF crew is FP and Sheriff Killer.
Yes.
Sheriff Killer. I said Sheriff Killer.
Carousel.
I said Sheriff Killer.
That's right.
No, he's Sheriff Keller. He's not killing the sheriff. But he's not. Is he a sheriff still, or is he still not a sheriff?
He's not a sheriff anymore.
Okay.
Because Minetta's still sheriff.
Yeah, but is he not also a sheriff? Or like a deputy?
Co-sheriffs?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Does he still work for the sheriff's department?
He's still wearing the uniform.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, he's got to still be working for them.
He's just drinking at home, wearing the uniform, going around. Why are you asking? I'm doing great. Veronica blames Hiram and says he did it to hurt Archie. He's like, no, I did this to hurt you because you chose a boy over your family. Veronica's like, well, you don't have a daughter anymore. Jughead comes home and finds Dilton's gone, but a roll of graph papers on the table. It has a demonic figure drawn on the back and a fantasy map on the front. Jughead notices it's a map of the town and sees a specific tree spot drawn on, and then he goes to the spot and sees a statue erected with Dilton and Ben crouched at the bottom. They both have symbols etched into their backs, and they're in front of an altar. It appears Ben is alive, though, and has blue foam coming out of his mouth. Betty comes downstairs and finds the farm people out in the backyard in front of a fire pit. They hold the babies above the fire and go to throw them in, but then the babies levitate over the fire. And then Betty falls over and has a seizure. The end.
There we go.
Bet you weren't expecting that?
Nope.
Levitating babies.
Okay, so I'm going to ignore the levitating babies for right now.
Yeah, there's not much we get to talk about that.
And I was thinking about like the concepts of community and like how people seek community and seek belonging and seek being understood. And I think that's what we see with like the Griffins and Gargoyles sacrifice children. I think it's, and we'll get into more of that in the next episode. It's what we see with the ghoulies in a sense.
Yeah.
And then I think the serpents, it gets really interesting because it's like, well, we no longer have the south side, but we're still the serpents. And like that FP points out that like the location isn't what makes us serpents.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Or you guys, because FP's not a serpent anymore. He handed over the serpent crown.
He's retired. He wears his glasses.
Yeah, he handed the job over to his 17-year-old son.
Boy, I need more time to wear my slutty little glasses.
He does. And we respect it. Or 16 or 17-year-old son, I guess. But so I was thinking about, and then we've got the farm. Mm-hmm. The farm is another form of community for crazy people. And so just
at least
like how
so far, white women
who have gone through something and are now being manipulated by who we can only assume is a white man.
I can't wait till we get to
More
Edgar.
on that reveal later.
Can't wait till we get to Edgar.
I can't wait till we get to Edgar either. There's a specific... Is that in this season?
Yes.
Okay, so that's what you're waiting for.
Yes.
If you've seen this, you know. And if you don't, you hold on to your hats. Buckle up. It's going to be a ride. So I just think it's really interesting, these different community aspects. And because so much of the last season was about community and the serpents and belonging and north side, south side. And you know, we end with Cheryl's a serpent and Betty's a serpent. And basically, if you're not Veronica, you're a serpent now because Archie now has a serpent tattoo too. But he's not really a serpent because we'll get into that in the next episode. But
because he refuses to go along with the community.
Yeah, exactly. And it's really interesting to see these different takes of community and how communities can be these super, like, when you have someone who's leading a community who wants to do good, like Jughead, he makes mistakes, but he wants to do good.
Yeah.
Versus if you have someone who's taking advantage of people, like we assume Edgar is with what's going on at the farm, just based on Colts. And we assume the ghoulie.
Penny, too. For
the ghoulies. Yeah, exactly. Penny is taking advantage of these boys because she was a serpent. She doesn't have any loyalty to the ghoulies. You know what I mean? She's just manipulating a group of boys. Mm-hmm. And honestly, kind of more power to you. Girl boss.
She's girl bossing it.
She's girl boss. I don't love what she's doing.
Right. Because it affects our
Jughead
friends.
did take some of her skin.
Yeah. He literally skinned her.
It's a little weird. But...
So I'd be pissed, too. She has some justifiable grievances.
But how we got there was also a problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's.
She was also holding people was blackmailing people and making them do deeds around town.
And riding in cars with scary men who tell scary stories.
Well, that wasn't her. That just happened to be as part of the process.
That's part of the journey.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. It's not her fault.
Yeah.
That's just part of the journey. But
R.I.P. Tony Todd.
But I just thought it was really interesting to see who like the different, we've seen positive community and what Jughead learning to be a part of his community and how to not overstep and like taking advantage of Tony's grandpa in a way by telling his story. And we have that. And then now we have these communities that are like actively like hurting people from how we perceive what the farm is doing to Betty.
Right.
By her family going crazy.
Yeah. And at least for Alice and Polly, at least on the surface, they are telling us that they're fine, they're cured, it's all good. But they want her, and they're cured, but they're encouraging her to burn her past. They encourage her to burn her journals, burn her past, burn who you are. Mm-hmm. If you burn it all and you release it, which I get the idea of like fire releasing rituals. Like I'm into whatever lets you release something, but that doesn't mean that you erase it. And I didn't write it in the notes. Alice tells Betty that she needs to slow down and process like what they went through, which also is, in comparison, is good advice. But to your point of, you don't just erase it like it never happened. It's like it's something that you carry with you and you learn from.
Mm-hmm. Or even if it's not something you can like learn from, like bad things just happen to you and you get to decide or live through it. Mm-hmm. Like you get to decide how you live through it and react to it. And of course you only have so much control based on your body chemistry, even in terms of like how you mentally cope with these things. But I think that you don't get to just like burn it. And it's like if Betty was like, you know what, to let this all go, I need to burn my journal entries that are about Dad, or I want to revisit these things. Like that would be one thing. But when they're telling her she has to release her past or her ties to her past in a very permanent way, that's not helping her.
Right. And trying to force her.
And one, it's also like it's not what she wants.
Mm-hmm.
And what good does it do her? It doesn't make you forget.
Right, exactly. And Betty is, at least as we see on the surface, because we follow Betty more, is in a worse place than Alice and Polly, but this is not the way to like help her.
Is she in a worse place than Alice and Polly though? Because we don't.
As far as we know, because like she's like forging prescriptions, which is that's not a good thing.
Don't we assume Alice and Polly have now given up modern medicine?
So there's the things that we don't know about like yet. They're like potential subtext, and
they threw babies into the fire,
but they levitated.
But they were going to throw the babies into the fire.
But they were. It was, I assume, part of a ritual of whatever the hell it was with levitating the babies. I don't think they meant to like burn the babies. But we shall see. And then also,
no, I don't know if we ever really come back around on that.
I don't think. I think we do.
Do we?
I think we do.
I feel unsettled about it from the first watch, but maybe I just don't remember.
But also Betty is lying to Jughead. She doesn't, and that's in the next episode. But where she's not telling him everything that's going on.
Well, I mean, yeah, they had to go rescue Hot Dog. They've been busy.
It's true.
But it's because she doesn't want him to act like she's broken. Like, I get it.
Yeah. But, just in terms of, like, outward appearances but amongst the family, we should be very concerned about what's happening with Alice and Polly. But in comparison, they do look like they're, like, handling, like...
I don't know. Betty's handling her Adderall addiction really well.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know if it's an addiction. Her Adderall abuse. Yeah. Let me rephrase, because I don't know.
Yeah.
If she, she's doing it. She's abusing it to stay awake. It was to help with the trial and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But like, is she addicted? I don't know.
Yeah,
it might be a very different ball game. This is not Spencer and Pretty Little Liars.
No, just in this, it's just that she's getting it. She's just forging illegally. And
I mean.
Yeah, fair enough.
You know what? In this fantasy world.
Mm-hmm. Modern, what she really, if she was in our world, she would have been, scrolling Reddit, figuring out how to do it at home.
Betty'd be making her own Adderall?
That's right.
I don't know. I don't feel like that is the way to go. Anyway, maybe don't abuse drugs. Yeah, one of my favorite things about this episode is the serpents got driven out of the south side, but Jughead and his dad still have their trailer. Like a bunch of the trailers got destroyed, but not theirs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, everyone else sleeps in tents and they have their trailer.
Yeah. The height of luxury over here. I
also really think what this show does really well and what makes it really interesting is the ticking. It's constantly got about 7 ticking time bombs happening. Like, we've got the Veronica and her dad constantly building. We've got the Betty and her family constantly building. We've got the trial that's really like the driving. Like, that's the bomb under the table in this episode is like oh, this is what's going to explode on all of us. But it's just, I think that's what makes this show go by so much faster is that it's constantly got so many that you almost forget what bomb could go off at any moment. And so it does that really well because then it'll explode whatever one you're not looking at. Mm-hmm. Sleight of hand is kind of like how good episodes of this show are written, I feel.
Yeah. So we've got it's totally a little bit because it's like, oh, here's this, and then we're going to pull this away, and you're not going to remember by the time we come back in 2 weeks about Penny and the Serpents, and then you're going to be like, oh, shit.
The ghoulies.
Yeah, the ghoulies. And then also, like, what's going on with this weird game that Dilton and Ben are playing?
Exactly. Yeah. Speaking of Griffins and Gargoyles, which, like, is it supposed to be a play on Dungeons and Dragons? Because I don't play that game, but I feel like I'd be a little offended if they were like, it's a cult.
It's really funny.
The blue lips thing is like 10 out of 10 weird. Yeah.
It's really funny, the mixture, I think, of pop culture around this time that they're mixing in. It's like the rise of like D&D and actual play podcasts and like those becoming a huge thing. And also like the tail end of like the true crime boom and cults. Yeah.
They're really playing with the cults.
And I think like also with Alice and Polly, it's like There's a documentary on the cult. I can't remember, but yeah, similar sort of like cultish things pulling in there of like, but also tying that then to like the crunchy mom moon and whatnot.
Exactly. This crunchy, holistic, natural. You don't need medication. You need to stick your feet in the grass. But what if you took your meds and you put your feet in the grass?
Yeah, feel pretty good.
Just an idea. But I think that's all I have on this one. Did you have anything else you wanted to really talk about?
Yeah, talking about Archie, they don't quite lay it out here, and they kind of hammer it home next week that it's like a mistake for him. But the idea of that if you want to make up for what you've done, then you have to actually like be there to make amends for it.
Mm-hmm.
Like just being punished doesn't actually like
absolve
change.
you of the crime.
Exactly. Or like change things.
Yeah.
And when literally everybody in your life is telling you that they want you around, but you make the decision to remove yourself from them, that's just making things worse.
You're just annoying.
Exactly.
I think one of the lines that I think really stands out in this episode is when they're all sitting at the fire pit after swimming in the little Sweetwater swimming hole or whatever it was. And he's like, you know, I have to make amends, basically. Like, I didn't kill anybody, but I could have because he was being reckless. And I'm like, okay, like I think you should take responsibility for the things that you have done and the harm you could have caused and how dangerous it was. But at the same time, that doesn't mean you just remove yourself from the equation.
Totally. There's ways to learn and grow. And I think also with tying into this show, it's like the prison system is not that.
No. Yes. And they do a good job, I think, of that in this next episode.
Mm-hmm.
Though I do have some questions because my bio dad worked at a juvenile detention center. But I went inside once with him to pick up like a paycheck or something, but I've never really been to juvie. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So when they start the next episode, which we'll get to in a minute, like spraying them down with the hose and stuff like that, I'm like, do they do that?
It's like, it looks like they're putting him into
like delousing.
Yeah. It looks like they're putting him into like a maximum security prison, like Shawshank Redemption style sort of thing.
I was like, is that the intentionality here to make it look like that? Which obviously, but like, is that what they do at juvies? Like, is that...
The warden's last name, I think, is the same last name as the warden from Shawshank Redemption. So I think they're
really playing.
They're just playing with like prison films.
There we go.
Prison escape films and things too. So yeah, that's it. Yeah, I just wanted to mention that piece of good. You know,
I kind of forgot about Archie in the episode, to be honest.
You're like, this boy.
I'm like, he's so dumb. I don't want to talk about him.
Mm-hmm. Very Catholic of him to just like be like, well, nope, I need to suffer.
Yeah, but it's like, bro, you're not even doing the penance right. Like, God's not going to forgive you if you're not actually sorry for what you did. He'll just, you say your Hail Marys and your Our Fathers, but you're not absolved. Well.
The next episode?
Yes.
Chapter 37, Fortune in Men's Eyes. The episode title comes from John Herbert's 1971 film of the same name, which is, which was originally a 1967 play, which sounds rough. It's about a young man's experience in prison, exploring themes of homosexuality and sexual slavery. Oof. Mm-hmm. But the title of the play comes from William Shakespeare's Sonnet 29, which begins with the line, "When in disgrace with fortune and men's eyes." I believe this is also what's in the warden's office. Anyways, so Archie gets processed into juvie and is abused and deloused. He gets brought before the warden tells him they'll get along if Archie stays in line. The Dilfs meet at Pop's, and they want to follow up on Cassidy's friends. Cassidy being the boy that was killed by Andre that Archie was convicted of murdering. And then they want to follow up on Cassidy's friends who apparently testified against Archie. Betty is back home from the hospital. There's no conclusion on why she had a seizure. Betty wonders if the babies are okay after they got thrown into the fire. And Allison Pauly says there was no big fire. We were just out hanging out in the backyard. We just had a little thing going on. And she must have hallucinated things.
No, they said they had, what was it, like teppanyaki in the backyard, basically?
Hibachi?
Hibachi.
Yeah, and it's like, Jughead tells Betty that Dalton's dead and Ben is hanging on. He asks her to investigate it together. And of course she agrees. Bughead, back in action. Archie gets brought into his cell, and he's sharing it with Mad Dog. Mad Dog doesn't make small talk and tells Archie to keep his shoes tied tight. Mad Dog's cell is also very 50s. He's got like old school pinup girls up on the wall. There's like a turntable with is it a gramophone? I can't remember what it's called, where it's got like the little speaker attached to it and the needle. And then like an old TV as well. Veronica tells the principal to step in, that she would like to step in as student body president with Archie locked up, but it turns out Cheryl already volunteered to take over. Veronica then accosts her in the locker room, and Cheryl's like, well, I need this for my application more than Archie does. College application. Archie steps into the prison yard and gets everybody eyeballing him and goes to the serpents and shows his tattoo. He meets with the serpents, and we see that Joaquin is there. And Joaquin's like, oh, I know this guy. And it has no love lost between them. Joaquin apparently got caught during the riot and tells Archie he needs to earn their trust and gives Archie a shiv and tells him to go shiv the ghoulie by the fence. And Archie tells him no and walks away. Betty and Jughead visit Dr. Curdle Jr., or goes to visit Dr. Curdle and find his son working there, Dr. Curdle Jr., because apparently Dr. Curdle Sr. died. Dilton died from cyanide poisoning, and the blue lips are from a specific lemonade. Dr. Curdle Jr. thinks this is more evil than the previous 2 seasons. Archie gets time alone in the music room and practices guitar. A group of boys come up. They're all ghoulies because they got caught by him during the drag race. They beat him up and take his shoes. Veronica visits Archie, who's in obvious pain, but he tries to cover it up. But Veronica knows that something's wrong, even if Archie doesn't tell her. Betty gets visited by a weird girl named Evelyn Evernever at school. She's part of the farm and saw Betty have her seizure. Betty tells her she has to go and leaves. Kevin tries to kiss Moose in the hall, but Moose is like, no, my dad is at school now. He's the RROTC instructor, even though they've been hooking up all summer. And he's making him join the RROTC. Cheryl comes into Pops and Veronica tells her to get out. Cheryl asks why she's actually mad at her and tells her to channel her rage into something productive and tells her to check out the Innocence Project to help out Archie. Jughead and Betty go to visit Ben and sneak into his room. They find his hospital room and find his mom by his side. His mom tells him that he became a different person over summer hanging out with Dilton. Jughead notices a little figure hanging by the door. Ben's mom says maybe the girl who came by left that one. Left that. And then Sheriff Minetta comes in and catches them. A deputy comes up and says there's a missing scout from Dilton Doyley's troop. Veronica visits her mom to tell her that she's starting a chapter of the Innocence Project in Riverdale, because remember, Hermione is the mayor. Jughead visits Ethel and shows her the figure, and Ethel's like, the figure is a talisman to protect Ben. She's apparently dating Ben, and they've been spending all their time in the bunker together. Dilton apparently has one in the woods. They get her to show them where it is. Archie has bruises, and Mad Dog asks why the serpents aren't protecting him. He tells Archie that his humanity was left at the door and has to act like an animal to survive. Archie asks about all his stuff. Why does he have all this stuff? And Mad Dog says, you don't want to know and you don't want to get tapped. Jughead and Betty come home.
Archie does not ask any questions or even really head tilt at this.
No. He's like, oh, okay. I won't ask them. Jughead and Betty
You like my shoes?
Exactly. Thanks. Jughead and Betty come home to find Alice and FP angry at them for going to see Ben. Alice says she needs to calm down. Betty needs to calm down so she doesn't have another seizure. And Jughead's like, wait, you had a seizure? And is, concerned by this. Betty then runs upstairs and FP bars him from going after her. Veronica visits with Reggie and gives Archie new sneakers. Reggie says they need their star running back. And Archie's like, that gives me an idea. Archie steps out into the yard with his new sneakers and tells everybody there's another way than going after each other. Boys, why are we all fighting each other? We're all men, or going to be men, aren't we? And the ghoulie tells him he wouldn't be in high school. He's like, we should all be in high school right now. And the ghoulie comes up and he's like, you know what, Archie? I wouldn't have been in high school because I dropped out of school in the 4th grade to run drugs and support my Nana. And then we get the amazing response that everybody knows. Well, you don't know the amazing highs and lows of high school football. That's right. It's incredible.
It's a classic.
I always forget because I just see the meme now that it's just straight-faced.
Flat.
Yeah. Archie wants them to play a football game and they'd mix up the team so it's not gang against gang, you know? We're all the same, aren't we? Mad Dog steps in and backs Archie up, and the warden watches Archie. Alice visits Polly in her room and tells Betty she's scaring her. Betty tells her she's safe, and Betty waits until Alice leaves and then locks the door and sneaks out. Jughead and Betty search for the bunker in the woods, and Betty tells them about the seizure. They hear noise and see a figure wearing a cloak. So it's this big figure like towering over them that has branches and like a moose skull for a head, and it turns to them and they're like, we gotta run. Like, it looks very supernatural. Jughead notices later that it's the same figure that was drawn on the back of Dilton's graph paper. They look at the map again, and they think a symbol on the map is where the bunker is. Veronica visits Archie, who's all about she's like, I'm all about this football game. That's great. And she gets an idea to help Archie and enlists Cheryl and the Vixens. Kevin picks up food at Pops and finds Moose coming in with the ROTC guys. And Moose is like, well, we can't be together right now because, you know. And Kevin's like, are you ashamed of me? He's like, no, I'm just with the boys. Mad Dog tells Archie he can't play because the warden says. Mad Dog tells Archie about his past. The warden banned his family from visiting him, and Mad Dog gets summoned by the prison guard, and Mad Dog wishes Archie good luck with the game. Jughead and Betty find the hatch. They find talismans hung everywhere, playing cards and figures in a box labeled Griffins and Gargoyles. They also find drawings of what they think is the Gargoyle King. They find a sign that says, drink the correct cup and ascend to the kingdom. Betty looks under the cot bed and finds a kid scurrying under there.
Jump scare.
It's a big jump scare. Apparently, he's been staying there until Dilton comes back, and they break the news to him that Dilton's dead. He was apparently an apprentice to be able to be even... He was an apprentice to Dilton to even be able to play the game, and also Ben and Ethel were only dating in the game. The day of the football game, Veronica and the Vixens show up outside the fence to cheer on the game and do a dance number to Jailhouse Rock while all the fellas bang at the fence. Hiram pulls up and Veronica runs over to confront him. Apparently the warden is his friend, and he says Veronica won't be able to see Archie after the day. Veronica says, you won't stop me, and I have to go cheer on my boyfriend. And Hiram nods to the warden, and the warden nods to the guards, and a bunch of guards come out in riot gear and yell, stop the riot. And Archie's like, it's a trap, everybody run. And then Archie decks about like a half dozen guards before he goes down. Mm-hmm. Archie comes back to his cell and finds Mad Dog's stuff gone. The guard says, Mad Dog died in the riot you started. Veronica vents to Cheryl about her dad and that she's banned from visiting Archie. Cheryl says, then we should get you a fake ID. And she's like, aha. Jughead and Betty confront Ethel. She says the game is real, but you won't understand, and says he'll get angry. Ethel then has a seizure, and Betty spots Evelyn Evernever standing in the corner watching. Archie goes to the waiting room and visitation room and finds Veronica dressed in disguise and says she's here representing the Innocence Project. Kevin enlists with the ROTC, and Moose's dad says, your dad and I were in the ROTC together back in the day. Interesting. The warden visits Archie's cell. Archie asks what's happened to Mad Dog, and warden says, save your anger, you're going to need it. And you've been tapped, and you will be my new Mad Dog. Uh-oh. Hermione meets with all the parents, literally all of the parents of Riverdale. Penelope's here, Hiram's here, Fred's here.
Sheriff Keller.
And it's like the secret we buried long ago is back, and that Dilton and Ben were found with blue lips, and Hermione warns that their children might all be in danger.
To which I would, if I was Fred, I'd be like, you put mine in jail, bye.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about mine.
I'm not, exactly. Jughead and Betty go to check on Ben while they're at the hospital. They find Ben in the window. He's just sitting there, and he says he's going to be with Dilton now. Dilton was scared to ascend, but he's not. He and Princess Etheline will be united in the kingdom, and he tilts out the window and falls. The end.
Okay, so Shakespeare's Sonnet 29.
Oh, okay.
You knew I had to.
Mm-hmm.
Shakespeare's Sonnet 29 starts with the sonnet. I would read it, but I don't feel like it. And you can look it up. It's not very long. I'm like, I'm not going to do it justice. And then I'm going to feel bad about having a bad Shakespeare reading on the internet. And I can't live that way right now. I'm tired and I'm stressed. But anyway, so the sonnet itself starts with this, with the narrator being like, you know, when I feel judged and I'm in a bad state and I'm an outcast and yada, 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 like, it's all about him being down in the dumps and self-loathing and all of that. It's then like, but then, so it's like a when I'm this way, then I remember you, like the person that I love, and like you bring me out of that state. And I wouldn't trade my place with no money and no positive outlooks for the place of a king. So it's good foreshadowing for how like Veronica, like love is going to save Archie.
Mm-hmm. That's
so
good.
It's like, it's fun in the episode, you know what I mean? Like she's still going to show up. She's still going to get there. It's like this, like they're playing it off like it's this, desperate down in the dumps thing because it starts that way. But then in the later part of the sonnet, it goes into, it's like, but you are the thing that saves me or like brings me out of that state.
I like it.
That's a very gross oversimplification.
Oh yeah.
But that's kind of the vibes. Yeah. I just thought that was
fun.
Level
connection.
Yeah, I thought it was really fun because I think that it's like you got isolation, envy, loneliness, fear, and then you've got love. Mm-hmm. And how love can help us when we're in those states. And Veronica, maybe your self-worth shouldn't depend on your social status.
Yeah. And that Veronica's there to, in this context, that she's just like working double time to try and get him out of there. Mm-hmm. And buoy his spirits. But also he's not helping himself by hiding things from her.
Exactly. It's like you help me. But so he's got to let her help him. But anyway. It's still a bit whiny. It's written by a man. But
that's what I always say about Shakespeare.
I know. Okay, so Griffins and Gargoyles. Dilton's bunker.
Yes.
There's just a lot going on.
Mm-hmm.
So with Griffins and Gargoyles,
they do the hat shot. They do it in Lost, and I'm never not going to think about Lost. It's great.
What I think is interesting is, oh no, I forgot what I was going to say.
I'm so sorry.
Oh no.
Dilton's bunker.
I know. Oh, Delusion. I was going to talk about Delusion and how this community, similar to the farm, it seems, is giving this group of people, it's like when, what's his name, tells them, it's like, oh, well, they weren't married, or they weren't dating in real life. They're dating.
And Ethel.
Yeah. Ben and Ethel are dating in the game, not in real life, but it's the kid they find in the bunker that tells them this.
Yeah.
Princess Etheline. Uh-huh. And how it's this game is more than real for Ethel before she has her seizure, because somehow those are catching. Mm-hmm.
That's right. It's the worst epidemic I've ever seen.
It's very strange. But I just think like that concept of like, oh, this thing they're playing and spending a lot of time with, like impacting their brain and their versions of reality to the point where they no longer want to live in this reality and they're ascending to the next. It's very Heaven's Gate.
Yeah. And same thing with
Jonestown.
Blue, exactly. Blue for Blue Kool-Aid.
Mm-hmm. It's just, I thought it was very interesting and like another way to play with that like perverse like change to community kind of concept.
Yeah,
like,
totally.
Does finding a place where you belong, is that sometimes dangerous when everything is like everyone's on the same page of delusion, I guess.
Yeah, totally.
I just thought it was really interesting.
Yeah, there's like, and it's also this like shared group of kids that are away from everybody. It's just like this own world that they've crafted.
And how did this game that apparently the people that were in the mayor's office get into the hands of these kids?
Mm-hmm. And it seems like something obviously happened in the past, and they're like, it's back.
Mm-hmm. So, and why was Hiram in this meeting? He did not go to Riverdale High.
I know. It's kind of like Jumanji.
It is kind of like Jumanji.
Mm-hmm. I haven't seen the new ones, so don't even tell me about the new ones. I'm talking about the Robin Williams one.
I only know the Robin Williams one.
Yeah.
But so I thought that was interesting. I think the Kevin and Moose stuff is kind of interesting. I don't love it because I just want Kevin to be happy.
Yeah.
But I think we've known the whole time Moose was never going to be comfortable with being out. And so it's just really hard to watch Kevin continue to deal with that. And of course, like, I feel bad for Moose. You know what I mean? Like, I understand that it is not always safe, or it doesn't feel safe to be out.
Yeah.
But Kevin then decides he's going to join RROTC.
It's kind of like things we've covered in the past in relation to Kevin specifically. So it's like, I don't know if I'm quite excited here, but in relating it to the military program at your school. It is. I'm like, okay.
Given a little gay military romance.
I'm like, what
a
are we
little
going with
forbidden romance.
And then inserting himself into it. I'm like, all right, I'll see where this goes.
I really think the jailhouse aspect is really interesting. I, of course, love the jailhouse dance number.
Of course.
We need to bring cheerleaders to every juvie.
And then it's, man.
How does Veronica have time to run over and talk to her dad and then get back while the routine is still happening?
I know.
I'm like, girl.
Yeah, dude, that's not a long song.
No, she's got that timing down pat.
Yeah.
But I think the specific thing I really find interesting about that is, of course, the police that are militarized and are carrying riot gear. They want division amongst them.
Yeah.
So this idea that Archie could unite them is a problem and gave them an opening to then create, some sort of fight amongst them and create distrust for Archie and just a whole, chaotic mess of things. And to watch them beat the children is like, so I know it's harder to, and watching the police hurt anyone is obviously upsetting and horrific and tragic, and we unfortunately see it way too often every time we open our phones, it seems like. But the show at this time is saying something by having them beat up a bunch of kids in juvie. Unfortunately, the kids do look like adults, so it takes away a little bit of that imagery, because I think it would have been a lot harder to watch if you had seen actors that actually looked 16 getting beat like by adults in riot gear.
Yeah.
So I just thought I was like, okay, like we're really pointing out the police violence. We're really pointing out how these systems are unjust and cruel, which of course they do in this show and a lot of things written by this crew. And Pretty Little Liars did in some ways, not the police violence, but the police corruption.
Well, and also they really hammer home the dehumanization. Because his name
they
is
call him Mad Dog.
Yeah. And Mad Dog keeps going, well, you're no longer human. You have to leave that at the door. And we don't know what's going to happen next. Also, with Archie being tapped by the warden, right? And that him allowing to even have the football game almost seems like some sort of perverse tryout for whatever he was interested in.
Oh, this was a setup.
Yeah.
Because he wanted to watch Archie attack those adult men to see if Archie could fight. If Archie could hold his own. Now, in what? I think I remember, but...
Yeah, I remember. In looking up actually pictures, I was like, oh, yes, yes.
Then even the lying to a mad dog died in the riot you started.
Yeah.
It's the rewriting of the narrative and knowing the wardens will get to just like, that's how they'll put it out. Oh, there was a fight. It was started by this person in the jail. And so now here's more evidence that does this prevent Archie from getting released?
And weird things because they bring it up actually in previous episode, but thinking of men abusing boys. They bring it up with Archie's parents both say you were manipulated by an adult. And then also here where they're literally like using them as things. We don't know exactly what for yet, but
my other highlight of this episode is the jump scare of seeing the Gargoyle King. It's scary.
Yeah, it is. It's
I
really
remember
good.
being very afraid of it the first time we watched this, and it does hold up. I was like, was I just like a little tipsy the first time we watched this?
No, the Gargoyle King is an intimidating figure. I think they do a really good job with all the dark Griffins and Gargoyles imagery. And
I think it's fun in this show. We know that Sabrina was happening at the same time, but if you were only watching this show or you weren't playing in both realms, I think it's hard to determine. It's like, okay, is this show playing with a fantastical element? Is this like some sort of true demonic entity, or is this like some sort of thing these kids have come up with? We know it's not like a mass hallucination because Betty and Jughead see it. So what does that mean? What is it? Why is it there? And the parents are afraid of it.
Yes.
So are they afraid of the Gargoyle King? Or are they afraid of what the game does to people?
Yeah, you don't know. And then also playing into, you saw babies levitate. So like, what's going on? Is there magic?
Is there magic?
Yeah.
Give me magic.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else in this episode.
I am excited for more Evelyn.
Yes.
I was like, oh yes, Evelyn Evernever, the little goblin in the back.
Yes, she's pretty slimy and a little scary.
Does the good kind of like bug-eyed look.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I do feel bad. Poor Ethel's just being dragged into shit. We like that Ethel has work. What we don't like is that Ethel never gets a good plot line.
No, And Cheryl even like talk shit about her when Veronica tries to take over. It's like Cheryl's like, "What is Ethel gonna take over as president?"
Mm-hmm.
All right, Cheryl. We like you a lot, Cheryl, but like that's not nice.
It's not nice, but maybe she knew about the Griffins and Gargoyles thing.
That's true. I think she did say something about she's been running around with Milton and Ben all summer.
Yeah, and so you're like, oh God, she's gonna start a militia at school.
That would be the safe thing to think about whatever Dylan's up to.
Right?
Dilton. Yeah. I think that's it.
All right. Well,
you can find this podcast on all your audio podcast platforms of choice at Dead Ends. You can also see the video version and, maybe catch a scrolled Wikipedia once in a while and some pictures of Sesame Park at dead_ends on YouTube. You can drop in comments there. We like talking to people in the comments. Or you can also, if you'd prefer, if you're listening to the audio version, don't prefer to leave a comment on YouTube, you can also send us an email to deadendspcast@gmail.com if you have anything you want us to bring up on the show or talk about.
Yeah.
And then you can also follow us on Blue Sky at dead-ends.bisky. And let people know about the podcast. We're a small, humble podcast. We appreciate any good word of mouth. And rate 5 stars on your audio podcast platforms of choice, because I believe that helps in the algorithm.
And now we got to go play Griffins and Gargoyles.
That's right. Yeah. So we are going to leave this plane, and Princess Amelia and her her loyal knight Brentonian will be stepping into our realm there. But for next time, we don't fit in.
And we're not gonna fit in.
Love you.
Love you. Love you so much.